Hello everybody, hope y'all having another blessed day. In today's video, we are back on Duel Book for me to showcase you guys today my deck profile over Tachyon Horus going into March 2026. Now, this is the deck that I've kind of come to love a little bit after checking out some replays on YouTube, on YG Deck Play Builder. It's just a little fun rogue deck to play, alright? Now, keeping that in mind, this is, again, a rogue deck. It is not one that's going to be typically beating those meta decks out there like Draco Tail or Yummy, alright? But, you know, if you're in love with kind of the Galaxy, Photon, the Tachyon arc line, and you love Horus, which I love playing Horus, this is a fun rank 8 engine you can play with, you know, this can be a very competitive option you can mess around with, alright? This is going to be the FTK strategy. One of which, you know, with whatever ban list may be coming out in April or June, we never really know. You know, they could see this kind of deck go away, alright? But without further ado, let me just jump into the deck profile real quick and kind of talk about everything before we get into the replays, alright? Alright, so this right here is essentially the gist of what this deck is, okay? Combination using the engines from the Tachyon setups, using, of course, 7 Tachyon and cards also like Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Primal, of coming off with also Horus, alright? Now, I will say, you know, technically, you know, you can play this as a pure Galaxy, Photon, Tachyon deck profile. You can definitely do that and get this kind of same results, but I have to experiment a lot with it. Horus plays really well with this deck profile. It also becomes a basically one card combo too, along with Infinity Dragon. So, basically, this topper up here, this is going to be our per 10 cards, 1 card combos. Any of these cards, if you draw them, as long as you don't get interrupted, will get you full combo FTK on your first turn. Right? So you have free Infinity Dragons, you'll have free M-Steady for this deck profile. Some kind of complication with this, I am playing free Walls, Imperial Tomb. Yes, this does take out more cards out of your hand, but it does get you in the M-Steady, which does get you full combo from there. And this is all about, you know, how consistently can I basically generate full combo. That's kind of a goal of this deck. We do got to play quite a few garnets, I would say, or bricks, right? And terraforming to get no tomb. Now, in the second row, these are cards, technically, if we're doing the FTK, we do not really want to see them in our hands. But if we do see them and we have to use them, we can actually still combo off into like a multiple negate board. We can finish off with typically at least maybe 2 to 3 Omni Negates or 2 to 3 interruptions, and also probably hand trap in our hand. So it's still really good if we can't go to FTK route, right? So we'll have 7 Tachyon. 7 Tachyon can actually get us into Infinity Dragon, which gets us into a pretty solid board by itself. We also got 7 Ascension, which gets us into Tachyon. I'll talk about later in kind of the combo, but if you hard draw one of these, this actually opens up the Omni Negate you can make before you can get Nib. So that's really nice to see also. Playing 2 King Sark. I know you can cut this down to 1. Technically, the second one is a brick in case you accidentally draw it, because if you draw it, it kind of a problem with end setting by itself. I guess technically you can cut this down to 1, because if you do draw this, you know, if you had it end setting, then you can discard instead and get to Happy, and there's your 2 cards. But, you know, we don't want to get to that point, hopefully. So we keep it at 2 for now. Maybe in the future, if we get some better cards, we may cut this down to 1. Then play 1 Galactic Spiral Dragon for the combo, along with the Tachyon Primal. We'll play also our Omni Negate, our Tachyon Transmigration, which, if we can't do FTK strategies, this would be our Omni Negate, which is searchable with the combo before Nib. The Happy for a second Horus, we don't need to play anymore, though I will talk about in this a second. How currently, with the current availability of TCG cards, you may have to play a second one. Our Catapult Turtle, which is like the only FTK card. It's not freaking banned right now. I don't know why it's not banned. It's really broken. And it's searchable thanks to 7 Tachyon. 7 Tachyon, as you see far down bottom right, we have this card called Sign Honored Arc. What that thing is, C1000. Never really get seen play and actually has to buy itself card. But with Tachyon, we can basically search any level 5 Aqua Monster. Yeah, see the problem there. And this card is searchable with the combo thanks to Primal. So this FTK is basically very much alive. All you need is basically anything into a rank 8 or any way to search Tachyon, and you can get through this card and generate FTK pretty easily. Alright. And this is one for bricks here. I would say for sure we do have the Photon Change Dragon. This can be any Photon card, honestly, as long as it's a rank 8. So if you want this, the basic Photon Dragon. If you want... honestly, you can maybe... No, it has to be a Photon. So as long as it's this card's fine for right now. Alright, or Photon Dragon, the regular one's fine too. Or Photon Emperor if you want that thing in there too. Whatever you want, you can chuck it there. I know this card's not out currently, it's only in OCG. Hopefully do get this limited release and do get this card back. And this is just the preferred one, because technically, if you draw it, whatever, you can use it as a kaiju, I guess. If for some reason your primal gets negated on your search, you can slap this thing down, may take up one of their cards. Bing bada boom, got stuff going on, who knows. And then the rest of it is just going to be kind of our hand trap interruption space we have in this deck, since we have plenty of room. So free Fluidos, free Ash, 2 Droll, 1 Magnamut, which again, this is just a placeholder really. You can put anything you want here. You want to make another search card, if you want to do like small worlds, if you want extra primals, you can do that. I just want to know like interruption card, and this one's probably one of the better ones you can play with this deck, because I'll go in second. If I do use Besto Magnamut to interrupt my opponent, I do get that Dragon Search at the end phase, which would get me into infinity. So for sure, I could be able to go full combo most likely on my follow-up turn. Then free Imperms, free Fallens, because this card is freaking broken. Basically, you use it once, you're going to get at least 2 more interruptions with it. So it's like a 1 card free interruptions. And then Toss and Call by, because honestly, this is good going first and second. Just speeding through the side deck. Ghost Spell, if any of those kind of graveyard reliant decks, we have that hate in there. It kind of goes well with the Bistils too. Free Purlia, if they're going to be special from the hand a ton, so that's there in case. Back row cards are kind of more of a thing, so now we're running up to free Lightning Storms now, so typically just a 2, coming off with the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. If we're going first, we do have the typical Tractus Trust, and we do have Crossout Designator. Alright. And then this last 3 cards is just a personal preference. Again, kind of more hate to those back rows decks. I think the other card you can play instead of this, you want to go Dino Wrestle Pankatops, which I'll just pull it up real quick. If I can spell, I cannot spell. I bet it's something like this. Where are you at? There he is. Right, so this guy here, you can rock him out too. And again, if it's good going second card. It's going to be a 1 card, 2 interruption, so it's a 1 for 2. You summon him, you can try to crash him into an opponent, which is going to make him chain to try either negate or pop your card, which then he can pop himself to essentially pop another card. So they try to remove it with a card. You can also remove a second card. So it's a 2 for 1. It's a pretty nice card. So honestly, if you don't want to play evenly match, or you don't have them, you can play 3 of these cards just fine. These I would say is kind of interchangeable spots, and this on your preference. Again, I feel like for me, I would rather be able to play against. I may play against a lot of decks that aren't going to have Omni Negates, because a lot of decks don't make Omni Negates anymore. It's more just like a lot of pop or spot removal. So if I just drop this card out, I can just get rid of everything but like 1 negate, except maybe some hand traps, which would be kind of funny, right? And if you try and negate it, if you open up this with the Fallen, you could technically basically send your Albion to pop your own evenly match. So when they can't like target and negate it, you basically also get to remove basically all of their cards. Which is really funny that happens. All right. And then into the extra deck, we do one to Albion and also the Ecclesia, which is going to be our fallen targets. Our big combo piece is the one, if it does get Ash, let's get Imperm, we're kind of in trouble. Our Divine Good and Shadow Dragon, something. A lot of words, a lot of jumbo mumbo, but this is the new combo piece. Probably needs to be banned in the future. It's basically way too generic, as this needs 2 level 8s. We also have the Galaxy Eyes kind of splash engine. It's just, we can break boards with this. If we need to go for a longer play, basically our 2 level 8s gets us into our Cypher Dragon, and Cypher Dragon snatch a card, just throws us out into X Dragon just by taking our monster. Or we can just use Cypher Dragon, toss on to like a 4 armor to pop a card, and then toss onto a Cypher Blade to pop another card. Alright, so 1 card, like 1 level 8 gets 2 free pops, and then a pretty beefy boy at least to target everything else. We're playing also High Sky Dragon Overload of Holopolis, what that thing is, I do not know. And just another option to play, because when you do have your Divine Dragon, he does let you go into a second XYZ monster as a dragon with 3,000 attack. He give me an option you can go into if you don't have the availability to go into 107 or does not feel like a good time. Another card that is not available in TCG right now, we do also have the Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. This one basically gets us into our Photon monster for extension. Alright, which again, if you can't play it right now, because of course it's not in TCG right now, You can maybe swap this out for like a super Tachyon or super Typhoon thing, what that thing is called. Let's see if I can type his name. I'm not really good at typing, guys. Let's see. Typhoon. Oh my goodness, guys. Why can't I spell this guy's name? I know it's super something. Hold up. Give me a second. We're going to find this jag real quick. Where's he at? Oh, we're lagging. Super. Where's the super dude? Where's the super dude? Okay. Is your name not super? There you no. Yes, yes. Yeah, it's Super Stark Slayer's Tachyon. You can toss him on basically instead. Alright. So right now, if you have the extra spot, because you don't have this card, just chuck this guy in instead. Alright. And then some other cards you have for the combo piece. I'm going to have Harbinger, Titanic Galaxy for your spell negates, or also for the combo. Toss it in Fill Time Lord, because worst case scenario, if you can not basically go full combo, but you can still get an extra level 8 out there, and you're not level, like Dragon Locked yet, there's a free Omni Negate, or at least Monster Negate, basically Omni Negate. We got number 97, Dragaloom Boom. Also card that probably needs to be banned in the future, because this helps get the OTKs and FTKs of number 100 Nimrod Dragon. Another card that I could see eventually get banned in the future. Alright. So any of those 3 cards could be banned in the future. I would not surprise me. And then we have number 107 and number C101. Okay. Now, let's talk about how you can kind of fix this deck up, because right now this is not TCG viable right now. Basically can't make it because, of course, if your Photon Dragon being out, and also with their Change Dragon, what this thing is, Charge Dragon, well, Change Dragon, not being available either. Alright, so cards you can use to replace that. You have to at least replace, of course, this one with that Super Tychon guy right here. Alright, and then you'll have to replace 2 cards in here to make sure you can still combo regardless, because without basically the Neo Galaxy Eyes, you can't go full combo with M-City and Horus. You have to at least have a second Horus card in the deck, which, you know, you can make your own preference. It doesn't matter which one you really pick. This has to be different than Happy and M-City. So you have some options. You can either toss in basically the protection of the Horus, or you can toss in the blessing of the Horus. And you know, I like having beefy monsters. I know this one has 0 attack, and it has a better effect, but I would rather just toss this guy in and basically swap out the Charge Dragon. And then you would also have to swap out, potentially, because if you do draw into a Galaxy Spiral, right, then you can't go full combo, because you'll have to special summon out with the Infinity Dragon, your one and only Primal. So you would also maybe need to add a null, basically like rank 8 Light or Dark Dragon. Alright, so honestly, what I've been doing right now for the current deck I'm just running basically 2 primals. Alright. And again, these are kind of those brick cards. We run them as like also the King Sar, because, you know, if you see it, it really kind of hurts what you're basically available to do. So it's better to have multiple, so you can still get that free search or free add. Like if I had in setting and I had this card in my hand, I could still discard to get my second one and that draw after that. Alright. So these 2 cards you can take out right now. You could run an extra Horus and run an extra Primal. That'll be fine. All right. So with that in mind, now let's switch on over to the deck combo plays here, and it's kind of showcase you guys basically what this deck's doing and basically how you can FTK. Now I'm gonna have 2 layouts for you guys to kind of see for yourselves. First one's basically the full combo run with the Infinity Dragon. This is a 1-card combo. You would need at least 1 card in your hand for 7th Tachyon target to shuffle back. Alright, but this is an example of basically playing 4 bricks, right, so in 1 card. Alright, so with this combo play here, alright, you use Infinity Dragons to special summon itself out along with a rank 8 dragon. Galaxy Spire is the best target for this card. It's also one because it can basically spell summon itself back out later on in the combo for extra body. You're just going to XYZ summon into Divine Golden Dragon. And this is where you're probably going to get hit by a hand trap, be it Effect Fail, be it Infinite Permanence, or Ash Blossom. This is where it can really hurt you, alright? And, you know, you may want to play some cards, you know, like Call by in the main. You want to play Cross out in the main, or Triple Tactics in the main. That's stuff I actually may be doing in the future, alright? Alright, but we'll see how it goes. But if everything goes well, you will search out your Primal Dragon from here. Primal is going to special summon itself out with its effect. Get the add, and this is when you will add your 7th Tachyon to your hand. Alright? You can use this now if you want, or like I'll do in this combos, I'll just use it near the end. Now, second effect of Divine Dragon is basically you can detach both your materials, I believe. Yeah, detach the materials of this card and basically use it to overlay into another Dragon XYZ, which this time I went for High Sky Dragon, the overload of Helophilus. Now, if you did draw already, if you already had a 7th Tachyon or 7 Ascension in your hand, or you drew your Tachyon, or if you drew the Tachyon basically trap, Omnigate Trap, alright, you would go into number 107. Because at that point, this is your 5th summon, and you would have the Omnigate availability already in your hand, and so you can stop a Nib that would hit you. Even though Nib's not seeing so much play, since a lot of people can make a pretty solid board within 5 summons. So if they do get hit by Nib, they have a lot of follow-up from it. Alright, so not seeing a lot of chance anymore. But now you go into your Galaxy Spiral, get into your next rank 8, which is going to be the number 97. 97, basically going to be special summoning out number 38, and put basically number 100 on top of that card. And then number 100 will detach that number 38, and basically he's going to gain 1,000 attack due to the combined ranks of all XYZs I currently have on the field, which would be 1,000 for himself, and the extra 8,000 for each of my other rank 8. So that's 17,000 attack he's currently going to be at. And now, last part of the combo, you've used that 7th Tachyon that we added thanks to Primal. We're going to reveal number C101, which is basically our rank 5 water monster, aqua monster. Let's just add Catapult to our hand. And since we didn't use a normal summon, we'll distribute either the Hyrule Dragon or number 97. Probably best to do not tribute a one that gives you some kind of target negation. So we'll distribute the number 97. Go into Catapult Turtle, and then Catapult Turtle's effect. You basically distribute your number 100, and you'll be doing 8,500 damage. Basically, that is your FTK. Pretty consistent. Now, skip around real quick. Alright, when we get the next example showed up real soon for y'all. Alright, that's an example hand. This would be pretty decent combo. You can use, Wall of Pure Tomb, put back the Primal, and basically get in setting and ditch the horse that way. But I want to show you just a really bricked version of basically the horse combo. Alright, so let's get all these stupid Fluros back out there. Hopefully this never happens in real life for you guys. You can draw all 3 of them in your hand. And then I'll just chuck a random hand trap in there, one that's not going to help much with the combo going first. Alright, so you use Insight at this point, discard any of the other cards in your hand. Alright, you get your King Sarcophagus, and we'll get we drew 7 Tachyon, which would be really nice, But I'm going to treat it like we didn't draw this card, right? So I want to give you just the most raw version of this combo. Of course, you get a lot of extra place depending on how well you can draw. We use King Sark, Sinnoh, basically guarding out there, Sinnoh Happy. Now we can bring back both Happy and Insetti. Right. From here, right, we'll overlay, kind of combo. We're going to do that same kind of jazz again. Get Primal. Primal's going to send itself out there. All right. And then Primal at this point would add our 7th Tachyon. Now, since I have 7th Tachyon already, and if this was an actual scenario, I would instead search out the trap. And then I would use my Divine Dragon to go into basically the Tachyon card maybe instead. Okay. But I'm just acting like it's not there. Get another 7th Tachyon out there. I will use my Divine Dragon. We'll just chuck on, we'll just chuck on Tachyon like it was going to be summoned actually. And now, this is where the combo would change a little bit. Now, I'm going to go for the one once we do get the limit release out there. So you do get those new kind of Galaxy support cards. But at this point, only thing you have left to do, you need to get another level 8 out here. In the current version, you can use King Sark again, discard no card, send your third Horus monster, get that out there, boom, use rank 8. Or, using the new Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, alright, you can use basically just go on top of him, whatever rank 8 you bring out, because this lets you basically summon it by using any rank 8 XYZ monster. And when it's summoned, you can take any Photon monster and special summon it. So I would basically special summon out that Change Dragon, and then we'll overlay the combo from there. Right, going to number 97. 97 is going to basically bring out our 38 and 100 again. 100 to go to 17k. And you know the drill. We get out Catapult Turtle, Tribute 97, bada bing, bada boom. it's game. Alright. But yeah, so that is going to be the deck profile, and oh, we have Crash. Folks, we have Crash. I'm bring out the deck profile again. Alright, but that's going to be the deck profile again. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because it helps you support me and helps me make more videos for you to enjoy. Now again, this is deck profile that will probably see some change depending on your own preference with it and your own meta. Of course, you can change the side deck up whatever you want to do. Honestly, it may not be a bad idea to play more like triple attackers fronts, to play cross up dead center. And honestly, something I've been thinking about, cards like Exchange, I could see almost coming back into Exchange. So you're playing stuff like Prohibition, right? And I've heard this other card. See if I know what this card does here. Salesman, all right? If you play Salesman, declare a card's name for the rest of his turn. Your opponent can activate card's effects with that declare the card's name. And the same thing applies to me for the rest of the door. Alright, so something like Salesman can be really good too to play. You can play it in like honestly the main deck because you want to go first. Alright, so play this. You know, if there's a certain card you don't think you can stop by, if you don't get to Nibiru, if you can't, you know, play out of like an Ash or a Droll, you know, these can be some really good cards you can maybe play or think about playing with them. Alright, so with that. Hope this week is blessed, and I'll see y'all again in the next video. With that in mind, I'm out.